Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Alchemy of Abundance Virtual Summit. I'm Chris Jolly again here with you. So excited. Today I have Kelly Pender joining me. How are you, Kelly?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, amazing to have you here. Now, you're a neuroscience manifestation coach as well as the host of the Badass Babe Manifest podcast. You're also an expert in simplifying money and abundance manifestation through the fusion of science-backed techniques and quantum physics for spiritual entrepreneurs. That's kind of a mouthful. So tell me what we're going to be talking about today, Kelly.
I love it. So today we are diving into how to create new money-making neural pathways, getting out of lack to manifest 10 times more quickly.
Amazing. I love the topic, and I think it's right on brand for the summit because as I've talked to more and more people, the one thing that I really find is if you're not getting what you want in your life, abundance around time, money, freedom, whatever the case may be, it's because you are either aren't clear on what you want or you have something kind of deep inside your circuitry that has you wired opposite of what you want. And we need to find out how to undo that wiring and make it a more constructive way to bring us the things that we desire. So let's talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about it. I love how you just explained that. It's so true. And just to dive in with this, when it comes to manifestation, so many of us are like, oh my God, am I manifesting incorrectly? What am I doing wrong? Because my desires, the abundance that I know that I'm meant for, is not here yet. Right. And so, what I just want to share with you, A, you're not doing anything wrong. And then B, it's not like, please don't miss out on your journaling ritual or routine because that's going to F up your manifestations. None of that matters. Okay. Those are all tools that help to amplify and to really get you into your personal power. However, you are manifesting 24/7, like every single day. And it's all backed by your beliefs, your neural pathways, your identity, and your emotional state and energetic frequency, right? So when you realize that, it's like, oh, this places me back in control, right? Because when we're manifesting more abundance, more money, it can feel like it's not here yet. And because it's not here yet, I feel out of control. And when we feel out of control, it's almost like the external is leading us. And then we're reacting and responding to our external circumstances. So I'm all about simplifying, as you said, money and abundance manifestation and placing you back in control, right? Because when we're in control, that means that you can make new decisions, new choices, and create new beliefs for yourself that actually back and support your manifestations and desires. And that's how you bring it in more quickly. And so to do that, we got to get out of lack.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we get out of black?
So, what I always say is when I was on my manifestation journey and when I was learning about universal laws, when I learned that you cannot create abundance from a state of lack that defies universal law, I was like, hmm, what does this actually mean? What does this mean? Because I didn't think I was in lack. I was like, well, of course I'm an abundant being. And since I'm an abundant being, of course I can create more abundance, but I wasn't creating more abundance. And so I went a little bit deeper than universal laws and really started to study the neural pathways, right? And so what this looks like, and I want to just give a quick rundown of what neural pathways are in case you're like, I've never heard of that. What is she talking about? So we have pathways in our brain, which are like deeply ingrained grooves that we have been following for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus years, right? And so these neural pathways are backed by our belief systems. And so if, let's say at the age of 3 years old, you had this profound experience that evoked negative emotions, and in that experience, you made a decision that you're not enough because someone said you did something wrong. And so you decided you weren't enough. Since that age of 3, then we've been thinking, I'm not enough, I'm not enough, I'm not enough. And so you create these deeply ingrained grooves in your brain called neural pathways. So because you've had that belief for so long, it's known and familiar to you. Our subconscious takes the path of least resistance, right? And so it's known, it's familiar, it's comfortable. I'm going to keep walking the same neural pathway. And so our neural pathways are linked to your reticular activating system, which is what you see in your waking state, your conscious state, the 3D. And so if you have the neural pathway, I'm not enough, your reticular activating system is going to show you, see, there's another failed launch. See, there's another relationship that just went to shit or whatever it is, right? And so it's just your subconscious proving to you it's safe to stay on the known path. And so what you get to do is to become aware of, where are my neural pathways ingrained to? What is this belief that keeps showing up for me? Right? Because when you can consciously become aware of your unconscious beliefs, that's what places you back in control, right? Where we're no longer hypnotized by thoughts, habits, patterns, beliefs that have been backing us. And then those beliefs we've been identifying as and showing up as, which means we're creating the same circumstances over and over and over again. So when you become aware is when you can start to shift and start to create new neural pathways, right? And for me in my work, I'm all about creating new money-making neural pathways because that leads you to more opportunity, more possibility, and really taps you into your potential rather than showing up, making moves and choices from past experiences, right? And so when we create those new money-making neural pathways, which I'll share in a bit, your reticular activating system then shows you, oh, here's an idea, right? Like, here's a new opportunity. Here's a new business collaboration. Here's a new whatever it is that was always there. We just couldn't see it because we were walking the known and familiar path of lack or not enough, right? And so, what I want to share with you today is that there are 3 main money blocks that we have. And so, it's really important to become aware of these so we can see which ones that are kind of like operating our backend system. And so, those are, like I said, number 1 is not enough.
Mhm.
Number 2 is unlovable, feeling unlovable. Okay. That's a big one. And then number 3 is scarcity, right? So those 3 beliefs right there are money blocks because it's feeding the neural pathway of lack. And it's keeping us in this state of closing off the flow of abundance, wealth, prosperity, money that wants to come in and that wants to support us.
Okay, now the real question becomes, how do we get people to stop being who they've been for 3 decades?
Yes. So this is where it's an opportunity for you to be like, okay, if what I have been doing up until this point maybe isn't working, isn't providing me the happiness, the abundance, the love, the joy that I desire, then maybe it's time to do something different, right? Maybe it's time to do something different. And so just knowing that and knowing that it's time to do something different, right there, you're making a choice for yourself. Right there, you're making a new decision for yourself. And that right there is going to start to activate you coming back into control, coming back into your power and back into personal choice, right? So to become aware of the thoughts that you've been hypnotized by, I want you to think about right when you wake up in the morning, the very first thing that you do when you're like, I'm awake, boom, what do you do? Do you think about what you need to do that day? Do you think about, oh my God, what's on my calendar? What do I have to get done? What bill do I have to pay? What's due today? What didn't I do today? What is the very first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning?
You
Because
re-identify with yourself and the life you've been living.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. Right? Because this is an opportunity for you. It's like, I just slept. I'm now awake. It's a clean, clear slate. So that means it's a new opportunity. Do I want to keep re identifying as past iterations and versions of me, old identities and thoughts? Or do I become aware of what's running the show behind the scenes? Right? Because what I used to do, here's an example. I used to wake up and be like, phone, pull it open, Instagram. I posted this last night. Where are the likes? Where are the comments? And that would make me feel like I'm not enough. And because of those vanity metrics, I'm not worthy. So because I'm not worthy, my desires are not possible. And that kept me stuck. That wasn't tapping me into infinite possibilities and my potential, right? It was keeping me here, creating the same circumstances over and over again, continuing to walk that neural pathway of lack. So, step one is to become aware, right? Because awareness is the key to placing you back into control. Awareness is the key to completely shifting your life, your reality, right? Where we're no longer hypnotized by old thought forms, habits, patterns, keeping us where we are. So, step one to start to create new money making neural pathways is to become aware, right? What beliefs are backing me with everything that I'm doing in my life, how I show up, the moves that I'm making, the decisions that I'm making, what I'm doing or not doing, what beliefs are present. And the way to ask yourself that is to just be like, where am I coming into resistance? Where am I kind of contracting? Right. And when you feel like you're coming to a halt, coming to a stop before you're about to do something, ask yourself why. Why am I feeling this way? Right. And let yourself really listen and receive to what's going on and go deeper and ask yourself why. What belief is there? What feelings are there? What emotions are there? Why? Is this the ultimate truth or is it just a story? Right. And if you may hear, well, I'm not allowing myself to send out this email to my new offering that I'm super excited about. I'm not doing it because no one has signed up yet. What's going on here? Well, no one has signed up, so I don't feel enough. Okay. Why don't you feel enough? Well, I feel unworthy. I feel behind. I feel like I should be further ahead. Is that the ultimate truth or is that just a story? And when you see this is just a story I've been telling myself, it's not the ultimate truth. All right. So I can then decide something different for myself, something more truthful for myself that I actually believe, right? Instead of affirming, I'm a wealthy woman, I'm a wealthy woman, I'm a wealthy woman, but your subconscious is like, no, sorry, I don't accept that as the truth because you have a belief of I'm not enough feeding the neural pathway of lack, right? So, number one, awareness is going to shift everything for you.
Yeah, Kelly, such great stuff. So that brings us to how do you catch yourself? Because I think for a lot of people, that's the hardest part. If we
Mhm.
realize we were talking to ourselves the way that we do sometimes, we
Mhm.
probably wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Um, and if we've been doing it for so long, it just kind of runs in the background all day, every day in our lives. And so we've already been not seeing it. So how do
Mhm.
you come to that moment of awareness and find that clarity to be like, oh, there's that thing. Let's figure out what it is and, let's deal with it.
Yep. I love this question because it's true. And because this is step one, some of us are on step one for some time, right? Because we're hypnotized and because it's what's known and familiar. So the second you start to desire to show up differently for yourself, it's like, what's going on here? What's happening? So I like to think about it as any time that you feel uncomfortable, Anytime that you feel uncomfortable, you feel a little resistance, you feel a little like maybe icky or weird or off, usually what's going on is you are kind of having a bit of an internal battle with your subconscious mind, with old neural pathways. And when you feel that uncomfortable feeling, that's when you get to sit with it. Where usually we're used to feeling uncomfortable and being like, no, I don't have time for this discomfort. I'm going to sweep it under the rug and keep doing what I'm doing. Can you allow yourself to sit with that uncomfortable feeling for 5 seconds, right? 30 seconds, 1 minute if you can. Yeah, you probably can. You probably can do that. And when you sit with it is when you can ask yourself, what's actually going on? Why am I truly feeling this way? Right. And when you can practice that awareness, that's going to lead you into step two, which is pattern interrupting. Okay. That's where we get to break this stimulus and response going on behind the scenes, where a stimulus could be, okay, I posted something on social media. I didn't get the likes, comments, whatever. My normal response is, oh, I feel unworthy. Oh, I didn't receive that external validation. Now I have the emotional frequency of disappointment, frustration, back to not enough, right?
Yep.
And so to pattern interrupt, it's like, am I going to choose to allow what's going on outside of me to dictate and define my worth and value? No, unless you want to. But that's a decision and a choice that you get to make, right? And when you allow yourself to stand strong in your competence, convicted in your body of work, your message, your mission, regardless of what's going on, regardless of your external circumstances, that's when you begin to make moves towards your vision and desire. And that's when you receive the ideas, the how, the action step to guide you towards your visions and desires. That's how you're going to start to create new money making neural pathways. Because when we're walking the pathway of lack, we're in a problem oriented mindset. And when if you're feeling that things aren't working, that everything is a problem, can we receive clarity, solutions when you're in a problem oriented mindset?
No.
No. And so many of us, so many of my clients are like, Kelly, I'm seeking clarity. Okay, that's beautiful and wonderful. You're seeking clarity because you're in a problem oriented mindset,
Hmm.
because you're walking the neural pathway of lack, right? And so when you're pattern interrupting, what you're going to start to do is start to walk the new neural pathway. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. And you're going to have resistance because your subconscious wants to take you back to what's known and familiar, right? So when you start to walk a new pathway of, well, before I thought nothing's working out for me, everything's a problem, I have no clarity. What if you decided to pull in the new belief slowly but surely? It is all working out for me. I am on the inevitable path. It is possible, right? It is possible. What if you allowed yourself to start walking that new pathway with those new beliefs? It's like you're trying them on,
Hmm.
right? And so you get to create new neural pathways with new beliefs, rewiring your brain, getting out of lack, and feeling abundant, deciding you are worthy of abundance, regardless of what's going on outside of you.
Yeah, I think Esther Hicks really had it right. It's kind of all a game of alignment, isn't it?
Yes, I love her.
Yeah.
Love them. Abraham, Esther, all of them.
Super good stuff. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about how you can take these same practices and adapt them to other parts of your life, because obviously you can create new neural pathways, not only for money, but for other things in life. So, what are some maybe tips or suggestions you have for entrepreneurs to not only make more money, but use this to feel better about their business, to
Mm,
enjoy what they're doing more, invite more pleasure into their lives?
yes. Okay. I love this question. And this is an energetic permission slip that you get to give yourself today. And that is, I am allowed to. I am allowed to feel good, to feel happy, to feel pleasurable, joyful, abundant, regardless of what's going on in my external reality. I am allowed to feel free, peaceful, in my pleasure, in my power, in my confidence, regardless. Right. And this is something that took me a very long time to decondition from and to deprogram from, because we're taught growing up, you can feel happy, abundant, successful when you have the successful business, when you have the thriving career. Then and only then are you allowed to feel that way. Right. And so when we're taught that, it feels uncomfortable for us to be abundant if the external, tangible abundance isn't here yet. It feels uncomfortable for us to feel pleasurable in our passion, in our power, if we don't have the tangible success, money in our bank account, house, car, relationship, whatever. Right. And so this is a decision that you get to make, to really allow yourself and to commit to. I am allowed to. It is my birthright to feel abundant, successful, joyful, juicy, F yes, every single day. I get to feel good because I get to feel good, period. It is safe for me to feel good, abundant, and free. There doesn't need to be a reason, because I can.
Yeah, people tend to forget that you can feel good just for the sake of feeling good.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
it's the kind of thing where it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're so focused on the where you are now that you keep thinking and putting out the vibration of where you're already at instead of where you want to be.
Hmm.
How do we kind of make peace and find acceptance of being in the process of and knowing that we want to be here and that once we get there, we'll want to be somewhere else, but at the same time, where we are now is okay too.
Hmm. Love that. So, what I found is allowing yourself to feel satisfied in your current circumstances, right? You get to feel satisfied. You get to feel that what's going on right now is enough because you are enough, right? Because you got your back. Like it always, always comes back to you. It always comes back to you and being in your personal power. And also knowing, and I say this to my clients a lot, what's happening external of you, your external circumstances, it's not your forever, it's temporary, right? And when we can see that what's going on outside of us, it's temporary, we stop identifying as our external circumstances. And then to bridge the gap from where you are currently to where you desire to go, right? Pulling in some quantum physics, you get to get out of the mental concept and get into the feeling state, get into the frequency of your desire, the frequency of your vision. And so, a really easy way to do that, which again can take 30 to 60 seconds, we don't need 10 hours a day. A really easy way to do that is to just sit in silence, hands over your heart, and just tap into the vision of your desire. Tap into whatever it is that you want for yourself as if it was already here, right? Like letting yourself see it, taste it, touch it, smell it, going beyond that and pulling in, tapping in the emotional state of it. Okay. And that's actually, fun fact, that's actually something I did for this, what we're doing right now. I kept having the vision of me speaking at events, and I would go beyond the vision and pull in the frequency of it. And I just felt so proud, so confident, so free, just so like, F yes. That's all I did. I just tapped into that emotional state, and here we are, right? Like it gets to be that easy.
Yeah, people forget. We try to make it harder than it has to be, that's for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be hard.
Unless you want it to be.
Unless you want it to be. Exactly.
Okay, Kelly. So I want you to tell me about a time in your business when everything was going great. You're making all kinds of money. You just feel really on fire with purpose.
Mhm.
What was one of those times for you?
Oh gosh. This was, I mean, now, and I'm also reflecting on a time right before I had my first child, my son. And it was interesting what I noticed within me, a big shift for me, is I truthfully just stopped giving a fuck about the outcome. I didn't care. And it could have been, and this is a lesson I learned. It could have been because at the time I was 8 months pregnant and I was like, I'm surrendering. I'm truly surrendering. I'm truly just tapping into my feminine. I'm stopping with that masculine, that logical, I need to do more. I need to work more to make more money. I truly, fully let that go. And I was like, girl, you're a pregnant goddess. Like, lean into it, lean all the way into it. I had clients come out of nowhere like never before. And it's all because I finally let that old belief of I need to do more, work harder to make more money go.
Yep, that's a hard one for a lot of people to let go, and one of the last ones usually.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, it's programmed, it's conditioned within us to be in our masculine, to go, 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 go. And it took me years to learn that. And it took me to get to 8 months pregnant, uncomfortable. I just want to lay down to learn that.
Yeah, as soon as you let go of the outcome, it's amazing how freeing it is because then you can just
Mhm.
be present instead of trying to make something happen.
Yes. Yes. I was no longer trying. I was just being, right? And I felt this energy of me being open and receptive and available, right? Which again goes beyond that mental concept of just saying it. Like I actually felt that openness and availability. And hello, clients came in.
That's when you can receive, is when you're open,
Yes,
100%.
exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about receiving. Your freebie is the Badass Babe Freebie Vault. So
Yes.
everybody who wants to receive that, the link is right below this video. Tell us more about it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, what's inside this vault are my favorite tools. So, we have EFT tapping for your unfuckwithable self worth. Love that because that's how money and abundance responds to you, your personal power. I have my free Abundance Unleash course in there, which is my 3 steps to manifesting more money and abundance now. And then how to shift your relationship with money. A little training is in there as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being so abundant and sharing that with everybody here at the summit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Enjoy it.
Well, Kelly, it's been a wonder having you on. It's been wonderful having you on. And everybody else, I hope you have enjoyed the talk. We will see you next time. Kelly, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
All right. Ciao, everybody.